The data from the State Similarity Index was used to create a hierarchical cluster of America's states. However, it may be best to look at the country's states as a connected web, not as hierarchical clusters, since the data reveals the relationship of states to each other is more of a gradient than having clearly defined groupings. Therefore, a diagram was created to reveal more intricate linkages between states rather than simply clustering them into regions. The index attempts to quantify how similar American states are to each other relative to other states. It weighs equally 5 major aspects of states: their demographics, culture, politics, infrastructure, and geography. Hopefully, this diagram will help people understand the similarity of American states relative to each other better than a traditional map, which may only show geographic adjacency and political boundaries. The logic of the connected web is as follows. Each state is connected to its most similar state, and also the next most similar state that is not more similar to the first most similar state. For example, the most similar state to Georgia is South Carolina. However, Georgia's 5 most similar states are all more similar to South Carolina than Georgia. The next state that is more similar to Georgia than South Carolina is Florida, even though it is only the 9th most similar overall. Therefore, Georgia is on a spectrum somewhere between South Carolina and Florida. Please keep in mind that just because some states are close to each other on this graphic does not necessarily mean they are very similar to each other. Only the lines connecting states are meaningful, not their location on the graphic. For example, although West Virginia and Iowa are next to each other in the graphic, no lines are between these states, so no relationship is necessarily implied. The thicker the line, the closer the similarities between the states are. In the West, Colorado is at the center of the entire West region, since it is not far different from states on the Pacific Coast or Southwest regions, even though it is in the Rocky Mountain region, so it connects to them. Utah is an outlier in the United States since most of its people are Mormon and have an especially unique culture. California has elements of both the Southwest and the Pacific Coast, so California and Nevada are connected. The West region also connects to America's 2 most unique states, Alaska and Hawaii. According to the data, these states are so unique they deserve to be considered their own regions. South Dakota and Montana are the most similar pair of states in the West and Midwest respectively, so their link connects the West to the rest of the United States. 2 distinct clusters of similar states emerge in the Midwest, one region centered around the Great Lakes and another region centered around the Great Plains. Missouri has a lot in common with the Southeast region since the state tends to be more conservative politically. The data also shows that Pennsylvania is a transitional state between the Great Lakes region and the Northeast region. In the South, the entire region is clustered around Alabama, the region's most typical state. Radiating out from the center are several outliers. Texas, Louisiana, Florida, and West Virginia are relatively unique, so they only connect to one other state. Texas used to be an independent country and has a lot of Mexican influence. Its climate is also drier than most southern states. Louisiana was first colonized by the French, so it has unique culture. Its diversity is especially evident in cities like New Orleans. Florida has a hotter climate than other southern states. Unlike most southern states, its demographics are extremely diverse. West Virginia is the most northern state in the southern region. It has a significantly lower black population than other states in the region. Oklahoma's geography has some characteristics of the Great Plains states in the Midwest, so it is linked with Kansas. As for the Northeast, the subregions within this macro region are not completely clear. While most geographers consider New England to be its own region, the index finds that grouping just Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire together might make more sense. They are much more rural, since they are the only states not part of the megalopolis between Boston and Washington in the Northeast region. In addition, Maryland and Delaware are the most similar states to the South in the Northeast region. They are some of the few states that allowed slavery but stayed in the Union during the Civil War. So, what do you think about this attempt to diagram the United States? Let us know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to the Objective Lists channel, as there will be even more interesting videos coming soon. For more insights and analysis, please visit objectivelists.com for new and thought-provoking articles about our world.